Tulsa, what's up? What's up, Tulsa Real Estate Fund crew, comrades, associates? To our first webinar. Yes, you can hear. You can hear. Great, great, great. I am Andre C. Hatchett. We have Brother Mashard in the building. Brother Mashard, shout yourself out, King.
Shout, shout. It's a pleasure to see you, King. We had a wonderful time last week now at the ball.
Mhm.
Super excited to see all that beautiful Black excellence in one room. Super amazing to launch the fund amongst friends and family. And tonight we're gonna go over how to set up your personal Tulsa investment account. We have
Yes.
close to 1,000 people, so
Whoa.
we're looking for that to be 10,000, and that's just in 1 week. So we need to we gotta bust the seams open and get to 10,000 as a collective, so we can really make an impact.
Let's do it. Let's do it. It's the only way to get it done.
So before we go into nuts and bolts, I wanted to get your feedback, your recap. Obviously, as a comedian, we had Queen Terry Vaughn on the ones and twos, MCing the event.
Yes.
Queen Ernestine had a powerful thing, powerful poem, powerful poetry that she delivered. But what were your thoughts overall about the event, and what are your takeaways?
Man, it was monumental, Brother Machado. It was monumental. It was very personally fulfilling, gratifying. There was a lot of love in the room. If you're on the webinar and yeah, and I saw you there, I appreciated the love that I personally received, and on a community level, it just was the energy was electric. The motivation was electric. The energy was electric. The thought process was electric. It was a very purposeful night, Brother Mashar. It was a very purposeful night where I felt like this is where I was personally supposed to be, and I felt the other people in the room felt the same way.
Yeah, I definitely felt a purpose. I mean, it was almost a spirit in that room that
Hmm.
we really all were there with one mission, one thought, one mind. And when you don't see those situations that often. I mean, you typically see it in the professional world with a corporation, with the CEO, and everybody's kind of there moving the same direction. But you rarely see it when we all are together on our own agenda, right? On
Yeah,
our own behalf. And so to see that was my key takeaway. And just to see the energy, the wonderful, beautiful spirits of everybody who flew in from Cali, from Florida to Pittsburgh. We had a lot of people. Frank from Pittsburgh came down.
Frank was in the house. Yes,
I met him. He had on the shades. He had his nice suit. He had his queen with him.
got the queen in the house. Yep,
Oh
yep.
man, he was definitely in it to win it. So definitely was a cool environment.
That's what it's about. That's what it's about. And if anyone is on the line with us now, were you there with us? Were you at the ball? Were you in attendance? How did you feel about it? What were your thoughts? And I also people are asking us, Brother Bashar, are we doing the ball next year?
Oh man, that's gonna be an annual affair. And,
Great.
and when you look out, it's the first and only Black Wall Street ball, and so you may mess around and see us in different cities because we may take it on
Ooh.
tour and go back to Tulsa, Black Wall Street. They had another lesser known Black Wall Street in North Carolina off Paris Street. And so we may go coast to coast with it.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. Well, that's what it is. So that's what it is, and that's what it has to be. So, Brother Bashar, what are we focusing on tonight? What is our focus for tonight's discussion, King?
Tonight we are taking the first step to creating your Tulsa investment account, and we're walking you through the website. We're walking you through what where we are, and kind of giving you an update to the people to show just how to get started. And we're gonna upload this to YouTube, so don't feel the need to have to aggressively take it, notes. I want you to take notes, but definitely pay attention because we'll make sure we put it up online so you can retrieve it later. So what I
Sounds
can
good to
say
me.
is either you or me. I mean, you just created your account today, so I don't want to steal your thunder. I know you
Nah, that's all you, big time. I follow your lead.
all right, and I know for you this is your second account, so I don't want to play you short. You know, you sign up your company today, which is definitely impressive. So I'll go ahead and share my screen so we can go ahead
Okay.
and get started here.
All right. Mhm. And if you guys check your email, you will see how to call in if you want to call in. Check your email. I'll type it in the chat box.
So the first thing you'll see is the People's Fund. You'll see some information about why I partner with Tulsa Real Estate Fund. We talk about our solution, and one thing I do want to talk about is I really want to dive in just a little bit before we talk about signing up to our account. What does this actually mean? So essentially, the investment thesis that we're following, right? That we're all aligned to, from Jay to myself to Andre to everybody involved. The whole thesis is that we're going into urban communities, right? Your urban community, my urban community, finding the most. So we're uncovering the blighted pieces of our communities, and we're rehabbing those. But we're not just stopping at rehabbing the real estate. We're also rehabbing the people, right? So
Mm.
that's the dual-edged sword. That's kind of the secret sauce because you know when you see it all the time. I mean, even me and my mother and my family, we have food stamps, but that didn't preclude us from buying bad food, right? We still didn't really know that we shouldn't be eating hot dogs every night, and we kind of my mother pushed us to eat healthier, but it wasn't like we were just stopping by Whole Foods after we got the food stamp card. So there
Mhm.
has to be a change of behavior with the support. You can't put broken people into new houses, and not to say everybody's broken, but just from helping individuals, and if people come to us and say, "Hey, I need help," we'll definitely help those individuals, right? And so when we look at what we're doing with this Tulsa Real Estate Fund, it's not just, hey, we're gonna go and buy this sexy project downtown and everybody's gonna own it and that's Black Wall Street. No, what Black Wall Street really is comprehensive. It's CCRR. It's comprehensive community redevelopment repair, right? And so I know that's a mouthful, but it'll be uncovered to you over the months. But CCRR, keep that in your mind. But what that pretty much means is that we're repairing not only the real estate but also the people in the community. And so, with that being said, I want to stop just for a brief second. I know everybody's been to the website, and again, this is www.tulsarealestatefund.com. I see a few questions here. Let me see what's going on with those. Okay, it says there is no number linked to the webinar. So, Andre, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm getting messages that some people can't hear me.
Um, I hear you loud and clear, Brother Bashard. Are you loud and clear? If you guys can hear us, type 1. If you can hear us, type 1.
All right, let me do this before we move forward. I'm going to stop sharing just briefly, and then I'm going to. There is a dial-in also. Let me see if I can quickly find that.
I think I have that info here, Brother
Yeah,
Michelle.
if you can find that, and then we can put that in the group chat. Okay, perfect. Yeah, Andre just put it in the group chat, and that will be 669-900-6833. So if you guys can't hear, you guys can most certainly, I'll repost it too, just so you can hear it. Okay. So we'll go ahead and move forward. So again, this is our website. There's 5 steps to getting involved with Tulsa Real Estate Fund, TREF for short. First step is creating an investment account. The second is choosing your investment. The third is funding and investing, and then monitoring your investment, and then collecting your dividends. And so the steps that we're at right now is creating your investment account. There's one deal that's there, and I'll show you kind of the details. I'll talk a little bit more about that deal, but for now, we're really just creating an account, and then in 30 to 60 days, that's when we'll be launching our first well-vetted deal. Right now, we launched everything, but we're really trying to vet that first deal. We have a lot of deals coming into us, and we want to make sure that we pick the right deal for the community.
Yep.
So as we sign up here, I'll go ahead and start a brand new account just so you can see it just from beginning to end. And so when you first create your account, it's very important that you put your legal first name, your legal last name. You know, I have a lot of nicknames. My family members have a lot of nicknames for me. But it's very important that you put your first legal name here and your last legal name.
Mm-hmm. And Brother Mashar, quick question: are our partners able to invest in their business name only, or do they have to include their personal name?
They can invest with their business. We can go over that, or we can have a side conversation about it. But yeah, most certainly, we had a King Tosin. He actually invested with his well, he signed up under his business account, but you have to sign up a personal account first.
All right, good to know.
And so I'm gonna use my JMA, Sidney Morrison Academy.com. Can't spell today.
That's all right.
Password is secret, of course. And so this right here, you agreed to receive electronic communications. This is more so that you give us permission to send you emails to keep you updated on your activity. So essentially, like, you know, if there is so at the end of the year, you make your investment, you'll get a K1 at the end of the year. K1 is a form that you receive when you invest or you own a piece of a company, right? And in this case, it's a limited liability company. So when you own a piece of a limited liability company, you get a K1, and that's K as in kilo -1, K1, and you get that document at the end of the year. And this just gives us appropriate permission to send, you know, emails to you and let you know that certain things are posted and that type of deal. So from there, you sign up. You can choose to say your password or not. And, you know, make sure when it says legal first name, when you have your legal last name, make sure there's your first legal first and last name, because here's the thing. When you do get to the point where we are investing, like, you have to make sure that your first and last name are correct in the system, because if you are one letter off, we have kind of assurances in place that make sure that, you know, you can't invest under somebody else's name. So you want to make sure that you keep a good eye on your first and last name. I know that's simple, but it's like some people just put whatever. So I'm put dummy information here. Hopefully I don't get any mail to these, but here we go.
Okay.
I'll do Tulsa, Oklahoma.
And everybody online with us, feel free to set up your own account while you're watching us. So that way, if anything goes wrong on your end, you have any questions, we can answer them live for you. So feel free to set up your account with us while we are on the air right now. So that way we can bring you in if you have any questions, if anything goes wrong. I'd rather have an account solely in my business name, no personal name. Can we make this happen? T.A. Evans done already. Thank you, T.A. We appreciate it.
Yeah, so what you can do, it's not necessarily set up right now where you can just do your business name. What you have to do is you have to go here, right? You set up your account, and you go to menu. You have to go to new profile, and then here's where you can actually set up an LLC as an account. But end of the day, like, if you just really want to, I mean, you don't have to put, like, you can put the information there, but, you know, it doesn't necessarily, maybe you put the entity information there because you're not going to be investing as yourself. So if there's some concern about, hey, I want to invest as my entity, I don't want to invest as myself, you know, feel free to not use, like, you know, maybe use your entity name on the legal first name and last name. And then when you get here, right, you create a new profile, and then you create your entity here. And so this is where you can type in your company name, the executive name or whoever you have. Like some people have like a registered agent, so maybe you put that here, your tax ID number, contact information, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So this is where you really get into investing as a business, and you can choose your logo, which is pretty cool.
Nice. Okay, good stuff.
So I want to stop there. Do we have any questions, King Andre?
Not yet, but I want to shout out to Kim for having it done already. Part you, Kim, for already knocking that part of it out. Nope, we're all good, Kim.
Nice. And this is when it gets interesting. Say if you have a custodian where you're maybe like a fund manager, or you're like over a trust. This is where custodian would fall into place, and it's very similar, very similar information. And so when you are ready to invest, and when you do actually invest, this is the dashboard.
Oh, okay. We got fancy on them, huh?
And so it says sample data only. It will be replaced, but essentially you'll be able to see all of the categories that you own, right?
Whoa.
So we have plans on having hotels, condos, residential units. So you'll be able to see, okay, all right, the portfolio now has 29 apartments, 73 condos, or 73% rather, or excuse me, well, that's just numbers, 29 to 73. And then you'll see, okay, I invested, $1,000 in May, $5,000 in June, and here are my returns on that money. And so you'll be able to see that.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay, so this is what you call transparency to the highest degree of transparency. Love it, King. Love it. Now,
oh, definitely.
I believe you said that we had a deal that we're looking at currently. Is that in our investors portal?
Let me go ahead and go to that deal.
For everyone who's joining us, thank you guys for hopping in here. This video will be on our YouTube page and will be sent out via our email blast. So if you're signed up to our email list at tulsarealestatefund.com, you will receive this video within 48 hours. So you will.
And so this is the deal. I was telling Andre about it. He got pretty excited. But essentially, this is a pending opportunity. And again, in the next 30 to 60 days, we'll be fully launching, whether it's this deal or another deal. This deal is pending because we're still reviewing it. So you won't be able to invest right now. And that's why I said $0 funded. And this is the target raise is $2.4 million. And so essentially at a high level, this deal will be $2.4 million. We were partnering with a developer in Philadelphia who's been in this business for about 20 years. This deal in particular, it was based in a historic city of Yorktown, Pennsylvania. Pretty cool project. I'll open in a few seconds, but a few more notes about it is that this will be the first Black-owned hotel in Philly.
Wow.
And so there's so many unique opportunities, so many personalities and influencers that are interested to partner with us on this project. And we're definitely excited about it. So let me go ahead and open it up.
Okay.
So in the future, when we are ready to invest, right, when the project is launched, like a lot of people have asked questions, and our team has answered them, and whatever questions you have. But typically, there's an executive summary, talks about the neighborhood, talks about our development partner, and then end of the day, you can ask a question. You can communicate with us directly. You can follow it, and when you follow a project, you actually see where we are with the project. We'll be able to communicate different milestones to you. And again, this is a pending project, right? So we're still, this deal is still under review.
Okay.
And so pretty excited about the project, yeah.
So on a real one-on-one level, the maximum that one person can raise is $2.4 million, or the maximum that we're raising for this total deal is $2.4 million?
So the maximum for the total deal is $2.4 million.
Okay.
Yep. And the maximum somebody can invest is 2.4 million. The minimum they can invest is $500. And so,
Got it.
and this is a very interesting and intriguing deal. I can definitely talk to someone about it if you want to know more details about it. But let me see.
All right. And the timetable for you guys to invest is we're hoping within the next 30 to 60 days, you'll be able to add funds to your account. That'll be within the next 30 or 60 days. That's our target. We have to get clearance from the SEC. So once that's done, you will be the first to know, and you will literally be able to add the funds to your account.
Yep. Do we wanna break for questions, or what are your thoughts?
Yeah. Well, they're coming in now, so let me tap in the next one. How far in advance must the funds be received before it's a go? I think I just answered that one. Inheritance, tell me if I answered your question to your satisfaction. If not, I'll give it another go. Will there be an app? Will we be getting an app, Brother Mashar?
We will be. We have a king that's actively working on that. He's out of DC, and so yeah, most certainly we're definitely getting the app. As we drive more community engagement, we definitely want to have an app.
All right. Okay. Is it possible to create two accounts, one for the personal, one for the business?
Not necessarily separately, but when you create your profile, right? So if I went here and did the profile, it will show up as two accounts. So I can set it up here and say Tulsa LLC. Say Bob Jones. I'll show you, and we can go to the next question too. I'll do this while we work on the next question.
We're good to go right now for the question. We're updated on all the questions.
Okay. Yeah, so let me just show you kind of what it looks like after you create your separate account. It's a completely different account. And you browse as that account, and you can make investments as that account. So it's completely separate. Tax ID must be 9 digits. See, we have a lot of governance and assurance around making sure you put in the right information.
Yeah, we wanted to make sure this thing was as tight as possible, regulated, and we follow all the legal steps humanly possible.
So you see now it has Tulsa LLC, where I can invest as Tulsa LLC. And so I'm browsing as Tulsa LLC, or I can browse as Mashar Frierson and invest as Mashar Frierson. So it's two completely different accounts. Okay. Can you submit funds multiple times to the same fund? So the G.A. Evans, yes, you can. Yes, short answer is yes.
Okay. How long will it take for the investment return of the 8%? The investment return, well, everybody keep in mind that the investment is not a guaranteed return. We are aiming to have a high return, to have an 8% return on your money. So I want everyone to just keep that in mind. We are not guaranteeing it, but we do feel we have a high, very, very, very high probability of returning your full investment and your return on investment. So Brother Bashar, if we collect funds, let's just say November 1st, how soon will the first proceed be paid to our investors in your estimation?
I mean, it depends on what deal we select. So typically with real estate of this nature, we look at things like the estimated and projected hold period. So when we do come out with that first project, the key details that you'll get is the ROI, the projected ROI, right? So like this deal has projected ROI conservatively of about of about 15 to 17% conservatively, and that's the projected ROI for this project. The projected hold period for this deal is 40 months, meaning that from the first day that we invest money as a collective. So when you invest money, it may be, there's like a 90-day window, right, before that money actually starts earning interest. But when you invest the money, or when we actually invest the money as a collective, that's when that 40 months will start. That's when the first pick goes into the ground, the first shovel hits the dirt, and then it goes 40 months until that includes construction, stabilization, the operational management gets involved, and then we sell it or refinance at the end of that term. Now, throughout that duration, I mean, we're classified as a funding partner, so we'll be getting interest back on the money that we loan to the project. So there will be some income, but the big payday will be at the end of the 40 months on that particular opportunity. But there'll be other opportunities that are 3-month holds, other opportunities that are 6-month holds or 12-month holds. So, it depends on the opportunity that we select, and it depends on the hold period.
Gotcha. Okay, good stuff.
Okay. I see one question from Queen Natalie Tinker. How do you put the actual funds into the account? So essentially you would ACH. So I wish I could show you that once we get further down the path, but when you are able to invest, you hit the invest now button and it takes you to a self-accreditation piece where you can tell the system if you're accredited or not. Accredited investor means you're worth $1 million or you've made $200,000 consecutively over the last 3 years. After you get those approvals, then you'll get to the next phase, where you submit in your banking information. And so it'll be an ACH transfer. And the ACH transfer, once you're approved, or actually goes to our escrow account. And so it's held in our escrow account by a third party. And the third party checks you to make sure that you're not, doing any money laundering or you don't have any serious financial crimes, or, there's a series of checks, making sure that you input the right information, the social security number matches up, all that good stuff. Once that's approved, then that money goes to our account for the sole purpose of investing.
Gotcha. Okay, good stuff. Next question. When you invest in a project, once you get back your principal and interest, then is that all you do, or do you continue to have interest in the project? So once we pay back our investors, are we done with each other, or do they still have ownership in the project?
Yeah, the short answer is that you have ownership in the project. The longer answer is that it depends. So the short answer is that once you buy a share of Tulsa Real Estate Fund LLC, you own that share, period. Nobody can take that away from you, unless you sell it, right? So as far as the project is concerned, we not only will loan money to our constituents, but we'll also take a 20% equity in the project that we do. So like, for instance, this hotel, right? This hotel is a $19 million project total. And there's some leverage in the deal. There's some community grants. There's some other smaller loans in the deal as well. But at the end of the day, we bring approximately 2.4 million to the table. That's considered a loan. Once we go through the duration of the 40 months, then there's a refinance period at the end of that project. So we're still owning the project at 20%. We'll also participate in the 20% of refinance. So we still own the building, but we still be able to get some of our capital out, or all of our capital out, plus a hefty return. So for this particular project, we still own the building. We have our capital, and as a shareholder, your interest and our interest would be directly aligned. We'll take this. We'll take another call to kind of talk about the future. Like we're thinking about, the idea and thinking about how we can go public. And then that will also impact investors who are shareholders as well. So
Gotcha.
I know
Okay.
that's a longer conversation, but that's to answer your question as simply as possible.
Sounds good, Brother Michelle. What bank will the project funds be held in? Um, do, do we know that yet? And will it be a black bank? Do we know those answers yet?
Yeah, so we've definitely evaluated, all of our options. We're still having conversations with various banks, and not to dance around your question, but the biggest thing that we're looking for is a bank that has the appropriate level of technology that we need, right? So when when we look at doing business at this level, we have to have clean books, and we have to make sure that each deal is encapsulated in its own LLC. So we have to have appropriate banking technology where we can have audit view, where you can essentially look at the bank account and you can, but not make any transactions. We have to be able to, do wires, and we have to have global presence. And so we're still, we're evaluating some final banking partners. Some of them are African American owned, others are not. But we're really just weighing our options on, which bank has the right technology mix so that we can protect ourselves long term, and we're not doing a lot of things on paper. We're not losing documentation, and that's just by virtue of what we're trying to do.
Sounds good. Is a black owned, this is from Marion, is a black owned bank a future project? I think you mean us acquiring or becoming or investing in a black owned bank. Is that part of our investment criteria?
Um, we haven't really explored that right now in this fund, as in Tulsa Real Estate Fund One. I definitely see some of those items on the horizon,
Mm-hmm.
and it just depends on the business model. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I think end of the day, I mean, just like certain deals are buy low, sell high, or buy low and keep it and build the value. Certain real estate deals, the same with banks. Banks are just a business entity, and so we'll definitely have to see when we get to that point.
All right. And we are acting somewhat as a bank per se. So if you have a development of condos that you have, Mar- Marion, and you need funding for that project, you could come to us opposed to a bank, or go to us for part of the money and the bank part of the money, and we would act as the lender, as an investor in your project. So you feel free to keep that in mind. Feel free to keep that in mind as well. What is the best way to disseminate this information to encourage other investors to participate? Share this webinar, have them join our mailing list. We have a podcast where we have these talks. This is our first webinar where we have talks weekly, where we talk, we answer questions, we give advice, we take advice. Tulsa Talk Thursday, I'm going to type it in the chat box as well. Tulsa Talk Thursday, so have them listen to it. We have, I think, 12 episodes so far, or close to it. So it's on SoundCloud and iTunes. Have them check out what we've done. And if they like what they're hearing, if they like the direction they're going, if they want to take a calculated, educated risk, we would love to work with them. Once we invest the principal, are we required any additional funds during the duration? So once you make your investment inheritance, are you required to make any other payments for that same project? And Brother Machado, I believe the answer is no, right? Once they make their payments.
Yeah, correct. I mean, what the king is thinking about maybe is a capital call, and we don't have any conditions where we'll have a capital call.
Got it.
Essentially, we'll be investing just straight shares. When you buy the share, you own the share, and there won't be any more capital calls against those existing shares. Now, if you want to buy more shares, you can most certainly buy more shares.
Okay.
and invest more money.
What is the criteria? What is the criteria for projects that are considered for submission? They have to make sense. So if the deal makes sense for our investors, for our team members, for you as investors, for our partners, then we'll go ahead and we'll take a look at it. So there isn't a general rule of thumb. The deal just has to make sense. Generally, for our first go around, we're looking at projects like hotels, investment properties, land acquisitions. But if the deal makes sense for our investors and our team, we'll be glad to take a look at it. Tulsa Real Estate Fund is a fund example, a bank. Well, we can't call ourselves a bank per se, but we can act as we can act in a way similar to what a bank does in your transactions going forward. Yes, so that is definitely a real possibility. And we're looking forward to that. We are looking forward to that because a lot of times the bank's criteria is just so insane to borrow from. And it's like, look, I have everything you're asking for, but at least with us, you know you're getting a fair shot. You know that you are getting a fair shot once we look at your investment that you're offering, and we'll give you a fair offer as well. Tulsa Real Estate Fund. Yep. All right. Play the role. That's what we do. Hey there. Do you know when the last few podcasts will be uploaded? Within the next week, with the Tulsa Ball and with us getting our website situated. If you could show them the website again, Brother Mashard, on your end. Then we can go over our team members. I know some people were asking about our team and who's working with us as well. Can anyone submit a deal, or must they be part of the fund to participate? No, you do not be part of the fund. Anybody can submit a deal. Anybody can submit a deal. So here we have our team members, CEO, founder, my main man, King Leader Jay Morrison. Most of us know who Jay is, a long-time real estate investor, community advocate, all around just great guy, like great human. If you guys ever get a chance to meet him, go to corner class or coach session, the guy just really just genuinely cares, and he brought me on board to help out and play my role, and I'm honored to be here. Brother Mason, Columbia University graduate, sharp guy. He's been in the country, out the country, investor himself. CFO, Chief Financial Officer, sharp guy. I had the pleasure of meeting him at our ball launch. And if anyone was at the ball, I want you to come on camera. If you were at the ball, I want you to come on camera and talk to us. So type in, "I was there, Dre," in big letters. We'll bring you in. Jahada, General Counsel, ultra smart attorney. She's at ATL, right, my brother, sure?
Correct. Yeah, Queen Janetta Pay. J Pay. You gotta pay J Pay.
You gotta pay J Pay. You know that. And we have, who do we have here?
That looks like me, Bashar first.
Oftentimes behind the scenes, never forgotten and can't be ignored. Brother Mashar, who are you and what brought you to the fund?
Oh, most certainly. What brought me to the fund was the whole idea of regulations changing. Thinking through, there's only a few times where the world shifts, and when there's chaos, that's when the world looks and listens. In the 70s, it was a lot of leveraged buyouts. I don't know if anybody has read the book, but Reginald Williams, Reggie Lewis, excuse me. Sorry, I read the book many times. Reggie Lewis.
Why do white guys have all the fun?
Yeah, why do white guys have all the fun, get to have all the fun, and did his first leveraged buyout. And that was in the 70s when they were able to get junk bonds. It's a long story. We can talk for hours, but, Vanderbilt with the railroad, and Rockefeller with oil, standardizing oil. His company's name, Standard Oil. So this is our unique opportunity to get in on the ground floor and to really have a solid plan on how to generate wealth as a community. So I was super, super enticed by that idea. And not only that, we could all kind of influence the outcome versus, being just a fly on the wall.
Got you. Ty Burton.
Yep, Ty is our leader over HR and administration.
Okay. All right. Queen Ernestine Johnson, poet, actress, and just knows how to get stuff done.
Oh, yeah.
Extraordinaire.
Mm-hmm.
With her efforts, her hardcore efforts helped the ball be a night that we will never forget. And we have this guy with the glasses with a semi nice tie. Direct. Yeah, we're going to change that. Thanks for that. We're going to update that.
Yeah, director of client relations.
Yeah, director of client relations.
He's also a directoree, but today he's director of client relations.
Yes, I'm honored to be here. And last but not least, who do we have there in the corner?
Jacoby, he's our technology guy, focused on everything Tulsa, from the app to the online. So when that new app comes and a new app drops, it'll be directly from Jacoby's computer.
All right, good stuff, Brother Mashar. Apartment complexes, how will these be effectively managed in communities that have experienced economic disenfranchisement so that communities and families are better situated to grow and develop? I don't know your name. It came in under your phone name, Samsung, but if you want to come in and talk about that, let's come in and talk. So type in open camera, Samsung, or open mic, and we'll get you in here and we'll answer your question live so we can have some dialogue with you for 2
Let
minutes.
me see if I can find Samsung. Yeah, this is him right here.
Apartment complex. How do these effectively manage? Will these effectively be managed in a community? Well, one, we're going to have our own property management companies who will be hiring. So that's a way right there where we can have a better relationship and give a better service. We'll be hiring our own property management companies, or we'll be outsourcing it to a company of our picking. So right there we have the control factor, and we have the hiring power, which we don't have in many cases. So that's one thing, and that's actually a huge thing right there, because oftentimes it can be the landlord, but it's the property management company who's handling everything, who's taking the phone calls, not the landlord. Especially if the landlord.
No, Randall's high, but we can go in now.
I think we have a mic open, Brother Charles.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and see if I
Gotcha. So that right there, that first step is the all important step right there to make sure that our properties have a quality of life that we're proud of.
Yep.
You were at the table. Oh, you were at the table. But no at the moment. Okay, cool. Well, thank you for hopping in, Meredith. Thank you for hopping in here, and thank you for sitting with us at the table. Any other questions? Does everybody feel comfortable now setting up their accounts? And if you can mute your mics, guys, I would appreciate that. Mute your mics.
Oh, mute the mic. That's probably me.
Yep, that's you. Oh, right.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, cool. Yep. For clarity, once we make our initial investment in a project during the capital call, would we still receive interest on our investments for a separate, different project funded? Long question. Let's start off with that. So once they make the initial investment in a project, Brother Mashar, during the capital call, would they receive interest on our investments, on their investments for a separate, different project funded?
The short answer is yes. And E will, you're gonna hate me, but yeah, the short answer is yes. The longer answer is essentially when you buy a share of Tulsa Real Estate Fund LLC, you're getting access to any deal that we do over the entire duration. So essentially you own part of the hotel that we do, you own part of the urban community redevelopment that we do, you own a part of the park or community center that we plan to do. Whatever we do, you own a share inside of that as well.
All
So
right.
the answer is yes. And then it says, will we also receive perks of 50/50 profit gains in the case when the property is filled. So the 50/50 profit share kicks in when we get over the 8% preferred return. So the 8% preferred return, we get there, we distribute the 8%, or well, all the 8% goes to the crowd partner. After that, you'll get 50% above that. So regardless if we buy, sell, whatever that return is, as long as it's over 8%, you'll get 50% of that 8%, or that amount above 8%.
Right. Do we have any say, or are we silent partners? I believe the honest, firm answer, Brother Machard, is going to be no. You do have a say so in what you invest in, but in the investments, we have a team and we have a board, Brother Machard, I believe, that will be in full control of that.
Yeah,
Doesn't mean we
definitely.
will ask for input, but the final say so, I believe, will be done within our team of advisors and board members, correct?
Yeah, but I will say this. I mean, a lot of people give me a call. They want to know how they can be involved. And my thing is, the biggest way that you can control a deal is to bring a deal to the table. I mean, so pretty much, if you bring a deal to the table, you find the developer, the African American developer, you find the councilman, the councilwomen, the aldermen, the alderwomen, and bring them to the table, and it's a real deal. We'll take a very hard look at it. So, I think for the most part, if other people are putting in that work, then you may not have the opportunity to have that input in. But if you're putting in that type of work and you're a developer and you really wanna create some opportunities for yourself, that opportunity is on the table as well.
Cool. And Brother Machard, who does our board consist of?
Sure. So right now we have a strategic advisory board. So we have Jillian Sidoti. She's helped well over 50 to 75 crowd funds get off the ground. Roberta Hosky, she's one of our key business advisors, and we have Alan T. Schiffman. He's done over $1 billion in real estate syndications, and so we're building out more people. I know some other influential individuals have shown interest to join our board, and we're honestly keeping it very open. But for now, we're all sitting down. One person that's not mentioned in this 8 is Ramon Tooks. He's based here in Atlanta, and Ramon has an extensive real estate portfolio repertoire. I mean, he does this on a day-to-day basis. But we'll have a small mastermind inside of our collective that really will sit down and vet each opportunity.
Okay. All right. What's the minimum amount I can submit on a deal, commercial deals only? Marianne, minimum that you can submit. So I'm assuming you mean you have a commercial deal on your end, you want to submit it to us and see if we want to partner / be a lender. What's the minimum amount, Brother Machard, for?
Yeah, it's not really a minimum amount. I mean, we're more so. I mean, something that you said earlier is we're looking for, good deals. We're looking for good opportunities, and end of the day, it's not necessarily a minimum. I mean, but I will say that there is a minimum impact. So it's not a minimum financial number, but there is a minimum impact. Like, we don't want to go into an opportunity that it's again a sexy project. There's some deal off of in the middle of nowhere, or that has no impact to our community. So we really want to have deals that intercede the public-private partnerships that focus on blighted neighborhoods, and then thirdly, that focus in on areas that we can really assist the people that live there. Because at the end of the day, like, we're not going to get the type of returns. Like, we're looking at returns, deals that we're trying to look at are, 20, 25% return. And the only way to get some of those returns are to really go to value-added opportunities. We're not, if you send us a deal that's an 8 cap, or a 9 cap, and you're looking for us to do a deal like that. I mean, we're not really that's not our sweet spot. Our sweet spot is looking at, going to Baltimore and looking at row houses that are just burnt. They're just literally just from over the years of all the use, they're tattered. And the city just has a problem, and they really want to fix this issue. You come to us with a deal like that in a city that has 40,000 plus vacant homes, and you're trying to say, hey, let's take 500, 150, 25 of these houses in this particular area, and we can do this. And I have the support of this councilman, councilwoman, or alderman, alderwoman, and then we can really talk.
Gotcha. Our target markets as of now, and this can and will change, but it's Atlanta, in particular the west side of Atlanta, Detroit, Baltimore, Newark, New Jersey, Chicago.
Chicago's on the list.
Chicago on the list.
Cali, not LA, but it's Oakland.
Oakland as well. Yep. But that doesn't mean that we exclude any other opportunities, but those are our target markets where we have our people on the ground, where we're going through deals on a consistent basis. Who is responsible for ensuring the accuracy of the correspondence that is circulated? Is that me?
Yeah, that is you.
That is me, Andre at TulsaRealEstateFund.com, aka Andre Hatchett. You can go up, you can see my picture and my tie on the website. I like that tie, by the way. I think that tie is cool, Mashar. New Orleans. If you have a project in New Orleans that you need funding for, please submit it to us. That's not our target. And our target
I think New Orleans may be in the target. I know we did a corner class down there as well.
We did, yeah.
I think we have a few cities that are on the fringe, but I think New Orleans may be right there with us. I definitely don't want to leave you out, even though I gotta pay quarters to use the bathroom, but it's okay though. I still like
quarters to use the bathroom
in the McDonald's. Yeah, sometimes.
You serious?
I'm serious. Dead serious.
I never knew that.
No, I still enjoy it. I don't want no problems for people from New Orleans. Just I don't want any problems, but I love New Orleans.
That's what it is. Good stuff. It has been heavily gentrified. So we're hoping that in a year from now, we won't even be hearing that word anymore. We hope to be hearing the word blackified, or as my late great friend G'day would say, blackification, where we take ourselves and we blackify the neighborhood. So blackification, the G word makes my skin crawl, which is again why I'm so proud to be part of the Tulsa Real Estate Fund. So we can just put an end to that, and we could be in the driver's seat along with our fellow comrades. The minimal being 500. My question can be, so with 100 and build. Okay, so can they invest in increments of less than $500, Brother Mashar?
No, not at this time. You can save though, and save it. And then when you're fully ready, you can invest. Now in the future, we are looking at a situation where you could put in $100 into an account, and then we'll help you with that process. But for now, you'll have to save all together and have the 500.
All right. What about Charleston? That's not on the list right now, but if you have a deal there, please submit it. I saw something you did in Newburgh, Andre Hatchett. You were highly enthusiastic about Newburgh. Is there any objection to doing projects in New York City this time? Nope, no objections. And I have some things that I'm looking into Newburgh on a personal end now. When is the deadline for? There is no deadline, because this fund, we hope, will be in existence forever. So even if you don't catch us on the first go around, you can invest in the second raise that we're doing. So there is no deadline. It's just, are you going to be involved in the first acquisition, the first investment piece, or are you going to be involved in the second, third, fourth, or 10th? But there is no deadline. This is going to be an ongoing thing where we're going to be doing this for decades to come. How large of a project will we underwrite? We are a crowdfunding group, and we are currently developing up to $10 million. All right, what about Central Florida? So we have target markets because we want to be organized. We want to be as organized as possible. And what a lot of startups, just some business one-on-one stuff that I've learned along the way, when you try to do too many things at one time, you could be what people call a sloppy business owner. And we've taken a lot of pride in being due diligent, organized, structured, detail-oriented. Even if it has pushed our dates back a few weeks, you can't say that we're sloppy. you can't say that we're sloppy business owners. So we have target markets just because of those reasons, where we have people on the ground, we have connections on the ground, we have contacts in places there where we can get stuff done. So just keep this in mind as business owners, as developers, as moguls, as you guys are. Doing too much too early can sometimes set you back, and it can have you out here looking crazy. So we have target markets for a reason, and that's the reason. You mentioned Atlanta. Do you have specific zip codes and price points that you are looking for? A deal's a deal. A deal's a deal. If you have one, please submit it on our website. A deal is a deal. We will be doing both cash and loans, and a combination of private investors as well. And a credit investor. And a credit investor is somebody who makes over $250 a year.
200.
$200 a year. It has a net worth of how much?
$1 million.
Credit investors as well. We will be partnering with them as well. And if that's you, let us know, and we'll have a private conversation. Perhaps you should have Jacoby set up the text so when the deals are submitted and they are not in the target area, it won't be able. Good stuff. All right. Well, we will keep that in mind. Thank you. Thank you, Heritance. All right. Any other questions, Bashar, that you want to answer on your end, or any comments, anything you want to say?
At this point, I appreciate everybody taking the time. Mike Webb, if you want, you can feel free to reach out to us at info@tulsarealestatefund.com, and either Andre or myself will respond. But yeah, you can we can set something up for later, either tomorrow or next week, Mike.
All right. Devil's advocate, not wishing anything negative. However, if something crazy occurs and the funds disappear, would our funds be covered? What do you mean by disappear? You mean an investment go bad? Because that is possible. We don't want anyone to think that this is a guarantee. This is a risk. We call it a calculated, educated, thought out risk, but there is a risk you can lose your investment. So we want you to keep that in mind. And again, just some honest business advice. Anybody who you're dealing with, any organization, group, if they tell you that they're guaranteeing your money 100%, I don't think they can legally do that. So you want to keep these things in mind, and you want people to you want people who you're dealing with and partnering with to be honest and straightforward. And we have said this is our first Tulsa Talk session that we have people on the team who have closed hundreds of deals, loan officers, 8 real estate agents, developers, wholesalers, you name it, multifamily homeowners, you name it. But even with all that being said, some deals just don't work out as planned, and there might not be an ROI in that case, and it stinks. But at least you know that you're dealing with people who are going to tell you the pros and the cons of every transaction you're going to make. So keep that stuff in mind. And as far as this, so one thing about this fund is it's regulated by the SEC, which is the government, which is they want everything from you. They don't let you do this kind of stuff unless you give them everything and you show them paperwork, and you show them more paperwork and more paperwork and more paperwork. So you should feel comfortable. And once we're able to take your funds, you'll be able to look us up on the SEC and see who you're dealing with and see everything that's going on here. So you're covered. You're covered in that angle. Yes, thanks for taking time to provide these details. What is Ty's role? Is she going to be overwhelmed playing multiple roles? I think Ty would have to answer that. He will have to answer that question for you. But we are a team. If she feels something she needs help with, I mean, there are admins who aren't necessarily on the website, and we have subcontractors and personal assistants who we're working with as well. So, you know, we feel comfortable that if anybody is overwhelmed or if anybody is underwhelmed, that we can send a text message and make a phone call and say, hey, Dre, I need some help here. Are you free? And if I'm not, Ernestine will. And if Ernestine's not, then Jay will. We kind of have, anybody remember Charles Oakley from the Knicks? Or a Draymond Green of a modern day era where they don't necessarily have players calls for them, but they just don't really care. They get out there and get busy. So our basically whole team have a little bit of Kobe and MJ, but we're mostly like the Draymonds and the Charles Oakleys, where we really don't care about titles per se and the roles. We have them for structure per se, but we don't mind getting involved in someone else's role and helping them out to make sure that we're getting the job done. We take a lot of pride in that. We're here to help the cause and to make sure that you get and to ensure you the best chance of you getting an ROI on your money and to make an honest dollar for ourselves as well. So that's our main thing. Just a concern. I see two positions. Just want to ensure.
Yeah, I mean, and we have, so for her in particular, she'll be partnering with Mason. So Mason is our CFO, and then Ty will be helping really from a bookkeeping perspective. And just full disclosure, I mean, she manages most of our just transactions, making sure our expenses don't get too not any crazy, but she just makes sure that as a fund, we're staying fiscally responsible. She manages our fiscal policy. And then if we're onboarding any new individuals, she'll be managing that process. So I'm not going to say it's not a big job. It is a big job, but she'll be partnering with Mason on the finance piece.
All right. If we submit a deal, are we required to keep it, or can it be sold? I'm not sure about that question, Brother Machard. Are you able to answer that? If we submit a deal, are we required to keep it, or can it be sold?
I think like if we I think, please, definitely correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like you're asking, like, if we buy a deal, do we have to keep it or can we sell it or flip it? And if that's the question, we can definitely flip it.
All right. For the first set of investors, when is $500 due? The $500 will be due. Well, you'll be able to start investing money, we're hoping, within the next 30 to 60 days. We are waiting on the final go ahead, and once that gets approved, you will receive an email if you have an account created, or if you're on our email list. We will say, make your investments today. Your portal is open where you can invest your funds. We went over a demonstration on how to do that earlier. You will receive this video. It will be on our YouTube page, and it will go out via email blast if you're on our email list, which is Tulsa. You can join our list at TulsaRealEstateFund.com. TulsaRealEstateFund.com. If you could, I can share that link in the chat box, Brother Machard, if you don't mind. Okay. Even go in there and hop in there now and do it. And if you want, you can create your account right now while we're on the line with you guys, just so if you have any questions while you're setting it up. Or
yeah, if we can end with this. Who has set up their account today? Why don't you respond in the chat box with a 1?
All right. What happens if the target funds are not received timely? What happens if all the money has been collected, already set up? So the target fund. So I'm assuming in Heritage you mean if we are aiming to raise $50 million, but we raise $10 million, then what happens? So Brother Michelle, what would happen? I assume we would just aim for a lower cost project, right?
Yeah, we would either look at another project, or we would fund it ourselves as a management team.
Okay.
Yeah, so we would fund the gap, but to be honest with you, a few people have asked me that question, like, what happens if, we're trying to go after $1 million project and we only get 900,000? I think we have to have faith too. Like, end of the day, we have to have faith, and we have to have trust that, we're all going to come together as a collective. We're going to influence our friends of friends, and we're going to do things from the top down and the bottom up. But in the middle there, we got to make sure the middle is hard and thoroughly, so end of the day, it definitely takes faith. It takes people like we're here on this call. We're investing our evenings on the call. This is a special group of people. I'm not gonna go as far as to say, talented 10th, because I believe in a talented 100th, right? 100%, right? But I will say that, once we hit a certain precipice, we'll definitely have, the masses and friends, and they'll look to you and say, oh man, you invested in Tulsa Real Estate Fund like back in 2017. Oh my goodness.
Monumental.
About that.
Monumental, historic. Our Empower line, Brother Michelle, people want to know, when can they buy our Power line? When can they buy some Tulsa Real Estate Fund gear?
Oh, some apparel, some merch. We'll have to get back to you on that. We have been very focused on the nuts and bolts of the fund, that we hadn't really focused in on the brand, but we most certainly, before it gets too cold, have some Scullies and something that makes sense. So when you're going out on properties and looking at potential deals, you'll have something. And we're also looking at pins, so lapel pins that has the TREF logo on it. So definitely.
All right. So I think that just about does it, brother. Thank you for your time. Let me just double check on my end. I think we got everything, okay?
I got a quick question.
All right, who's that, good brother?
This is Henrik.
Hey, Henrik.
Quick question. I have a deal. It is something that I put up on the website, but and really, I wasn't too sure how to populate some of the fields that you were asking, so it was rejected. So how do I speak to one of you and explain the deal to you, so you can let me know if this is something you're interested in?
All right. Are you able to send an email over with the numbers that you have, and we'll set up a call for the next within the next 48 hours or so. So email me, Andre at TulsaRealEstateFund.com, Andre at TulsaRealEstateFund.com, and me or Brother Machard will contact you with further information if we're going to proceed and take it from there.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Thanks, appreciate it. Once shares are available for acquisition, what order, if any, Tulsa Real Estate Fund consider investors? Will the order be based on investors registered with the Tulsa Real Estate Fund website? Brother Shar, last question. Once, if you guys can mute your mics too, I'd appreciate that. If you guys can mute your mics, I'd appreciate that. All right, once shares are available for acquisition, in what order, if any, will Tulsa Real Estate Fund consider investors?
Yeah, sure. So essentially, we're really funding one deal at a time, and so we're looking at, whenever we find that first deal that we're really interested in, that's when we will move forward with it. And so there won't be a whole lot of situations where we are looking at 2 or 3 deals at the same time as far as funding them. I will be evaluating deals, but once we get to the funding portion, we're only selecting one deal.
Cool. All right. Well, that's going to end it, guys. We appreciate your time. We'll be back. We're here every week, whether webinar or call-in session. We will be here next Thursday. We appreciate your time, your energy. Sign up on our mailing list if you haven't done so already. Create an account if you haven't done so already. Email us any questions, info@TulsaRealEstateFund.com, info@TulsaRealEstateFund.com. And we'll see you later. My name is Andre C. Hatchett, in charge of client relations, and here to make sure that we have the best possible chance to succeed and I'm sure we will. And I'm very honored and proud to be here and to partner with all of you guys. So have a great day, lovely African people, and I'll see you next week, if not before. Please, King Mashar.
Take care. Thank you.
All right.